For the first time ever, Revolution Pro Wrestling was live in Lyon this past Sunday. It promised to be a historic night, and it turned out to be exactly that in more ways than one, as the stars of RevPro and some of the best up-and-coming talent in France met inside the ring. Beginning with the undisputed British Cruiserweight champion, Nino Bryant, who was in non-title action against Kyle Hoxton of the Lyon Wrestling Association. Hoxton, who describes himself as a chess master and is willing to do whatever it takes to give himself a strategic advantage, did exactly that in the first couple of minutes with a poke to the eye that impaired the vision of Nino Bryant, allowing Hoxton to get himself a shock, quick victory over Bryant. But given the way it went down, Bryant was not going to stand for that and insisted on an immediate rematch, sweetening the deal by offering this time to put the undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship on the line. Nino Bryant eventually climbing to the top, hitting the Bryant splash and securing the 1-2-3 to hold on to that Cruiserweight Championship. Next up, 1/4 of the Cutthroat Collective, Nina Samuels, who came to France without any of the other members of the CTC in singles action against one of France's most exciting new talents, JGU. Samuels needed a win here and finally was able to get it. The starstruck from Samuels on an impressive JGU as Samuels heads into a match this coming weekend in London against Sapphire Reed, where the winner will be officially recognized as the leader of the Cutthroat Collective. Next up, a hotly anticipated match between one of the most exciting cruiserweights on the planet right now and the man who is simply Mr. Hype himself. It was Leon Cage against Kuro. These two had a match that lived up to the hype right up until the controversial ending when Leon Cage hit the uncaged on Kuro, went for the pin. The referee insisting that there was a count of 3. It looked very, very close whether it was a 2 or a 3, but the referee's decision stood and the match was awarded to Leon Cage. Next, the French fans were treated to a rematch of the epic battle from last month in Coventry between Trent Seven and Luke Jacobs. They locked horns again in Lyon, and it was more of the same when it came to a hard-hitting heavyweight throwdown. Unfortunately for Seven, for the second time in a row, Luke Jacobs was able to get the better of him, but a great show of respect between the two men afterwards as Jacobs prepares to defend the undisputed British tag team titles alongside Ethan Allen this Sunday live in London against Michael Oku and Shah Samuels, while Trent Seven turns his attention back to the tag team that has been tormenting him as of late, The Machine, and an upcoming tag team contest where he will team with Mark Haskins to try and take down TK Cooper and Chuck Mambo. Tag team action up next with Danny Black and Joe Lando of CPF against France's Lucky Vinnie Wells and Big Sabri J. The two Frenchmen looking to make a name for themselves by getting a win on home turf against high-profile opponents in CPF, and they were holding their own in that match until things took a turn. Kyle Hoxton, who we'd seen earlier in the night, who has an ongoing feud with Vinnie Wells, coming out to attack Wells. That led to Nino Bryant coming back out. Hostilities between him and Hoxton being renewed, and amidst the confusion, Danny Black turned his back on Big Sabri J, who was able to lock him in a small package and secure the upset victory for his team as he was teaming with Wells for the very first time. CPF afterwards apparently less than happy with Nino Bryant for, as they saw it, costing them the match. Up next, we were supposed to see a one-on-one match between Michael Oku and the debuting Allen Angels. Unfortunately, as Oku revealed to the live crowd, he'd suffered an injury over the course of the weekend that was going to keep him out of action for the immediate future. A furious Angels wanted the match to happen anyway and hit Oku with a cheap shot to the back of the knee that was the source of the injury. And it seemed as though that was going to be the end of both men's nights until, for the second time of the evening, Kuro's music hit. Mr. Hype, obviously frustrated at the manner of his defeat earlier in the night to Leon Cage, insisting that he would be the new opponent for Angels. And so the impromptu match between the two was on, a match that lost all semblance of control when the referee was knocked out, until an unlikely substitute for the official hobbled to the ring, Michael Oku returning, revealing he was wearing a referee shirt. Kuro seconds later hit the Star Platinum. Oku registered the count and Mr. Hype finished his night with a victory. And so finally, we turned to the main event of the night, the hotly anticipated, undisputed British Heavyweight Championship match between the champion Shah Samuels and the number one contender Jay Joshua. Joshua assaulted Samuels with a headbutt just as the in-ring introductions were ending, and what followed for several minutes was a fight that spilled all around the arena in Lyon. Once the two men were finally back in the ring, the match officially started, and goodness me, what a match it was. Seemingly unable to find a way to beat Joshua, Samuels took himself to a place where he was willing to do whatever it took. In this case, putting his feet on the ropes for extra leverage to make sure he could secure those shoulders down for the count of 3. The referee didn't see it. Jay Joshua was beside himself with rage afterwards, but it didn't matter because Shah Samuels walked out of Lyon still your undisputed British heavyweight champion. But after a night of multiple controversies in France, there are more questions than answers as we return to Porchester Hall live in London this coming Sunday, November the 2nd. As we know, the undisputed British Tag Team Championships to be on the line. The Young Guns against Shah Samuels and Michael Oku. It's Jay Joshua against Alan Angels, the Good Brothers versus Lycos Jim, and much, much more besides. We will see you in London on Sunday. In the meantime, I've been Dave Bradshaw, and this was your RevPro Recap.